Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. Gamer Dad here. This is actually going to be the 9th installment for the Nintendo News of the Week. So we actually have a lot to go over today because it was a pretty busy week for Nintendo news. There's a brand new Switch 2 console that's getting released. There is announcements for a game-breaking bug for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Yes, I know it just came out. Well, they just found this bug out. We had, what was it, the Summer Games Fest that actually came out, and a bunch of other, some leaks and rumors. And I've also got to include for the games that released this week, as well as the deals of the week. So a lot to go over. I really do want to share this all with you. So, to start off for the Nintendo News of the Week.
Nintendo News of the Week! Hear all about it!
The very first thing that we actually have to cover for the Nintendo News of the Week is the Community Spotlights. Now, this is the part of the show where I actually get to shout out whoever it is that actually has subscribed to the channel. So if you want to get your name shouted out, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and comment, not even down below for this video, any video, just comment that you have subscribed, what it is that you like about the channel. I will write down your name, and so for the Nintendo News videos, I will shout you out by name, because I do want to thank each and every single one of you, by name, in person, well, not in person, but just by name, just to let you know how much it all means to me and how much you mean to me as well. So this week, the shout outs are, like last week, 0, because no one has reached out. So I wish I had someone to shout out, but still, thank you to whoever you are. You know who you are. Just didn't let me know. So congrats to you. Thank you. So actually moving along to the creator shout out. So the creator shout out this week is actually for RogTalksGames. He's a great guy, posts some really interesting videos. He's actually really knowledgeable about all the games that he talks about and everything too. I mean, it's in the name, he talks games. So, but he's a great guy, like I said. So just go over there to his channel, check him out. I will have him linked to his channel down below, so you can click that as well. So moving along to the actual news that happened this week. The very first thing we actually have to cover is that in Europe, because of the laws that they have for, it's what is it? Consumers' right to repair laws. So because of this, Nintendo is actually having to revise their plans, and how they're actually going to be making for the Nintendo Switch 2s for Europe. So they actually have to make out a console that has a replaceable battery that the consumer themselves will be able to take it out and replace it. And so it's going to actually makes it a kind of a better console there for Europe. And who knows, maybe Nintendo will actually kind of just streamline the whole thing rather than having, okay, well, these consoles are for Europe, these consoles are for here, these consoles are for there. They'll just make it all across the board so that every console now will actually have the replaceable battery. So this is actually kind of good news and exciting news, because if you have a Switch 2, you know that the battery life isn't the greatest. So maybe with this replaceable battery, you might actually be able to have some third-party people actually develop batteries for the Switch 2 to actually get a longer life out of them, which would be great. Or, I guess you could just buy multiple batteries, so you just replace it, and then you can play it, and then get the other one on the charger. So you could probably do that. I don't know if that's feasible, but I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future with all this. Then actually, moving right along, you have a Switch 2. The biggest claim to fame is the backwards compatibility. Well, it's not 100% compatible with every game in the Switch 1 library. Some games just don't work. Well, they've actually been updating these as they go along, trying to get their library up to 100%. I think it's like 97% or however much they have. So it's still quite a few games that don't fully work. They just have issues. Well, they've got updated some games that actually do work now on the Nintendo Switch 2. So what these games actually are is for Buddy Collection. This looks like If. But anyways, then you have Dragon Quest Builders, Lesara Summit Kingdom, Monster Hunter Stories, Neon Inferno, which comes into play later, Overcooked, All You Can Eat, This Is Fine, Maximum Cope. That one seems kind of strange to me because it just came out like, a month ago, if that? Then Top Cop, Police Training, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. So these now work on the Switch 2 with no issues now since they've been doing these updates. And so, moving along, the actual next one that we actually have to talk about is for a game that just came out, and that is for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book concerning this. And there's a bug that people have noticed with it that is a game-breaking bug. And when I say game-breaking, not like in the traditional sense, like for if you play RPGs, where all of a sudden your character's like super powered and they can't die and they're one-shotting every enemy or anything else like that. No, this is actually a game-breaking where your game literally breaks, where you actually get soft-locked. So, what this actually is, I'll read this post. So, the company posts about the situation on social media. Currently, if you start researching the Bewildered Bird before Mr. E's tutorial for the index, and then end the research before making a major discovery, when you reach the index tutorial, you won't be able to leave the page. The index tutorial happens after finishing 4 chapters. So Nintendo is aware of this bug, and they are developing an update for this to actually fix the bug. But they don't have a time frame on when this when this update will actually come out for the Switch 2 to be able to fix this. So, something just to kind of be wary of if you have this game. Don't research the Bewildered Beast, I guess, or the Bewildered Bird until you get the tutorial. I guess that's the lesson we can learn from this, or you have to make a major discovery before then. So, I haven't made it that far, so I haven't encountered the bug. But for those who have the game and just don't want you to have this issue where all of a sudden you lose all your progress and probably have to start all over or something with your game. So, next one actually we have here is concerning, like, my daughters actually really like this game or really want me to get this game because it involves a cat. And that is for Stray. Now, if you have it for the Nintendo Switch, it is actually getting a free Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade. But there's a big but for this one, it is only if you have the game digitally. If you have it physically, you would have to buy it digitally and then get the upgrade, which that doesn't make much sense to me, but that's just the way they have it here. It's got something to do with like how the digital is linked to your Nintendo Switch 2 account and how they can verify a whole bunch of different things. But yes, for digital only to get the free upgrade for Stray for the Nintendo Switch 2. And the next bit of news, actually the last piece of news we actually have is concerning for Minecraft. It's a great game to be able to play on the Nintendo Switch. My daughter plays it with friends on the Switch all the time, and this has actually just got an ESRB rating for Minecraft for the Switch 2. I don't think it has any type of like release date on like when it will be coming out, but if it's already got rated for the Nintendo Switch 2, it kind of means we might be able to expect this probably in the near future. I would say end of the year, early next year at the very latest. That's just what I would say, because usually once you get an ESRB rating, that means the game is done, everything is ready to go. So pretty soon we should be able to get some information and confirmation, like a release date for when this is coming out. So then we're moving along to the leaks and the rumors. The actually first leak they have to cover for you is, I mean, a lot of people have covered this and talked about it. And it is concerning for Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. That is one of those games that's coming out. We don't know much about it outside of like the trailers. And we're really hoping for some information about this game really soon, especially a release date. So this is actually concerning a leak where they showed it's like a page from an art book. Now, do we know this is an actually official art book? I mean, it looks legitimate, like a legitimate art book that you would have for maybe a collector's edition. Because on the page, it actually says it's page 121. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you have to have 120 previous pages for this. So, I mean, that's a pretty big art book. So you would think for a collector's edition, which means the game should be getting pretty close to being finished, which follows up with my timeline for being releasing possibly in September. So, and this is something we can actually kind of look forward to in the next Direct, which actually comes into the next leak. So, Nate the Hate released on his podcast where he talked about the very next Nintendo Direct will actually be the long-awaited General Direct. We haven't had one since September. So that's quite a ways to not have a General Direct. And here we are in June, and we don't really have much dates for things past this month. So we need the second half of the year. So a General Direct is much needed, and the fact that the next Direct is going to be one is exciting. But if you actually go even further into what he said that it is going to be happening next week. So I mean, right there within June, which is when Nintendo typically does their Directs. So if it's in line with the time or the time frame for that, for the June Directs that they've previously done for like previous years. And some other creators, leakers, I guess you could call them, like I think it was Attack the Backlog, and some other people have been reporting that not only is it going to be next week, they are saying the specific day is actually going to be Tuesday of next week. So Tuesday of next week, we'll find out whether or not they're lying or if their sources are true or whatever. Now, I mean, this could be like another issue like with the Star Fox where he said Star Fox is coming in April. Well, then for some reason it got delayed like a week. So it might get delayed a week. We don't know what Nintendo has planned or how they just want to stick it to all the leakers. Ha! You said it's going to be this day. No, we're going to make it another one. I don't know if they're actually paying too much attention to the leaks and rumors about stuff like that, but it's fun to speculate. We can go through and think that we have that much influence over a giant company like Nintendo. And moving along with the rumors, the very next rumor that I actually have to cover is concerning for Mike Fisher, who is actually a former Sega of America vice president. And he has talked about in a recent interview that he heard that the company is actually in the process of remaking for Sonic CD. And I will say, I'll just to be truthfully with you, I played the Sonics on the Sega Genesis. So I played like 1, 2, and 3. I think I played was like Sonic and Knuckles. I can't remember what else there was, but yeah, Sonic 1 and then 2, and then Sonic and Knuckles. But I did not play CD, so I did not know much about it. I do know that it is very hyped, that a lot of people really like this game. I'm not the biggest Sonic fan, but I mean, I've played them, so I do enjoy them when I do play them. So it's kind of exciting to think that maybe this will be getting remade, coming to modern consoles. And so now that's it for the leaks and the rumors, the news. Moving along to actually being able to thank all of you. I do want to thank each and every single one of you. I mean, I had put the goal of 800 to like by the year, or not by the year, but for the anniversary of the channel, which is June 17th. Yes, I realize that's like a couple of weeks away. Well, as of this recording, 791. It has gone up so much in just over the course of this week, and it is thanks to all of you. I'm like over the moon. I can't thank you enough, like, and tell you how much this all means to me. And so you can expect another poster. My daughters are in the works of creating it right now, just to be able to say thank you to all of you, from them and me, I guess, to you. And so, and as I mentioned earlier, for the subscribers, if you subscribe to the channel, shout it out, or you want a shout out in this video, comment down below that you have subscribed, what you like about the channel, something about this video that you found informative, or any of the other 153 videos that I have on the channel. Check even just one of them out and comment on it and just say what it was that you liked about the video, and you will get your name shouted out in the next Nintendo News of the Week video, whenever that, happens next week. So if you do like this kind of content, or any of the other content that I have on the channel, do throw a like on this video. Every single like is like just 1% more chance that I'm going to make another video and be able to continue this series going. And you can hype it up, the videos, share it to all your friends, help me to get out there, to reach more people. And just with all of your help, I know that I can reach the goal that I had set for this year. And you can actually come over, follow me on X. The link is in the, well, maybe not in the description. Yes, no, I will put it down in the description, so you can actually just follow me, find me on X, and do the request, and I will get to you, hopefully, as soon as I see it, to be able to add you on there. I do updates on there for games that I've picked up, necessarily not as I've done the videos, but all the videos do get up there posted for when they get posted here on YouTube and everything as well. So, with that all out of the way, get right back into the video. Something else that happened this week, actually it was today of this recording, not the day that it will be posting, but Summer Games Fest happened. And there's actually a lot of games there, but a lot of them looked spectacular, but they weren't for the Switch too. They're like PC, Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation 5, and everything else like this. So, but there were a few games out there that got mentioned and that made an appearance here in summer and throughout the course of it for the Nintendo Switch 2. And so what they actually showed off, these are just the ones that interest me. There were some other games. So I recommend you, if you want to know what they all are, you can either just try to find people that have done, like, taken short clips of it, talked about games that interested them, or you can just watch the entire thing, which I believe you can just watch other people's reaction videos for it. But actually talked about for The Adventures of Elliot, again, which is actually releasing the day after the 1-year anniversary of the channel on June 18th. So, and this actually looks like a spectacular game. I can't wait for this game to come out. It's like you took A Link to the Past with Secret of Mana, and they got together and had a baby, and this is the game that was born of that. It just looks spectacular, and the HD 2D art style they have that I absolutely adore. And so I played the demo multiple times, actually. And so I'm actually really looking forward to this game. We don't have to wait much longer. Then there's actually, they talked about for Orbitals, which is another game I'm really hyped about with the anime aesthetics that they have. It's a co-op game, or a 2-player co-op game, and just looks like a really fun time, coming out sometime this summer. And then they also talked about, I've talked about this in the channel when it was first announced. Well, they did an announcement. I think this is like the first video announcement that they've done, where for Final Fantasy XIV, which is actually going to be coming out for early access for the Nintendo Switch 2 in August of this year. And then another game we actually have, it's a shooter for, how do you spell this? Armistice. It's coming out this winter, and it looks actually really cool. I'm not the biggest horror fan. This has more kind of like that horror gothic type feel, kind of like with zombies and monsters and everything else like this, but it looked like a really fun, cool game. And then we got the big one. Well, the big one for me was they actually released for Final Fantasy VII Revelation. This will be the third entry for the Final Fantasy VII, like the remakes that they actually have for the trilogy, and it will be releasing day one on all consoles, that including the Switch 2, because we do know that the Switch 2 is capable of actually running these games. I've played and beat Intergrade, and I played the demo for Rebirth, and it looks spectacular, runs smooth, no issues whatsoever with those. Moving to the games that actually released this week. So the very first game that you have to released this week was for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So it's the second entry. It's been released out there for the other consoles, but it's made its appearance here on the Switch 2. It looks like a very spectacular game. Like I said, I've played the demo, and if you want to, you can play the demo as well. I'm fairly certain it should still be out there. I don't think they took it off just because the game released. So check it out and see if that's something that you might be interested in picking up. Then next one is for all the people that are like otome visual novel fans. So you have Hakuoki Memoirs, Drifting Clouds. This is actually a PlayAsia exclusive, and it is the very first time this game has actually been released with English. So if you're an otome fan, go ahead and order it off of PlayAsia. And I think it has a standard edition as well as a collector's edition. And my wife does have one of these games. I want to say it was like Sweet School Life. I do know that it's a pretty long series, and as far as it's got a whole bunch of different entries, and not all of them have come to the West. So the very next one, actually for the limited, no, I say limited, I mean it's very limited. They're doing 3,000 copies of this at Super Rare Games, and it is actually a shoot 'em up for Platypus Reclayed, which actually makes this so, I don't want to say spectacular, but I was really interested in this because of the art style they have. Because when it says Reclayed, it is literally like claymation moving around on the screen. And so it just looks like something very unique and probably going to be something sought after in the future. That's just my own speculation for this. And I mean, you can take it with a grain of salt. But you can order it on Super Rare Games. I will try to have the link down below. Quantities as of the recording is pretty low, but it's for $41.61. So, and the actual next game that you have is a Switch exclusive, or not Switch exclusive, an import exclusive. It is way too late at night. And it is for River City Saga Journey to the West. Now, this actually looks like a really interesting game. And while the trailer and everything does have it in like Japanese, it does actually play in English. You can order it off of PlayAsia. And so, moving along to the deals of the week.
Deals of the week.
The actual deals of the week I have for y'all is that there is actually a publisher sale on VGP that is going on for this weekend, and is actually for the Spike Chunsoft publishers. So they have games like for AI, the Somnian Files, Bakuro, Danganronpa, as well as some other games. Let's see, yep. No Sleep for Konami. Oh, this is also AI, the Somnian Files. Sheeran the Wanderer, and Steins Gate. So, and they're actually pretty cheap. I mean, Danganronpa for $32.35. For the AI, the Somnian Files, they're all $35.94. Bakuru, $28.75. So, there at VGP. And what's great about ordering off VGP is if you spend $75 Canadian, which is $54 American, you get free worldwide shipping. So you pick up just even 2 of these games, like for if you needed the AI, the Somnium Files, if you needed those, save yourself $18 and be able to pick those up and add them to your collection. So it's almost like if you buy 2, you're getting 1 for free, practically. And the actual next deal of the week was I reported on them having the limited run games, where they got a shipment in, and so they were having a sale for last weekend. Well, one of the games they had on there, they did not really get a lot of the quantity, so it sold out in minutes, like literally minutes. And that was actually for Neon Inferno, and this is actually a really cool, really good looking beat 'em up, it looks like. And actually, I was watching a friend of the channel, Switch Addiction, when he streamed this. I was like, wow, this looks spectacular. So I really wanted to order it, but it was already gone. And so they actually do have a reprint at VGP, where they are actually taking pre-orders right now. So you could get it for $35.94. And so you can just add it to your cart because they're getting taking back orders for this because there was such a demand for it. And the reason I'm putting this in the deals of the week, not just because of like what happened for last week and everything, but if you actually go online and you're looking to get this game, you want like the physical copy of it, you're actually looking between eBay and Mercari and everything between $83 and $119. So paying $36 as opposed to, even at the low end, $83, that's a spectacular deal in my opinion. So, and I will put both of these sales in the description down below, so you can try to take advantage of them if you need some Spike Chunsoft games to try to add to your collection, or if you want to add this Neon Inferno to your collection as well. So, before I almost forgot, you have to do the pick of the week. The pick of the week this week is actually for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And yes, I know a lot of people are upset. The game keycard. This is way too big to be able to fit on the 64 gigabyte cartridge, so it would have had to have been a game keycard. So that's not really that much of an issue. And like I said, playing the demo, spectacular on the Switch 2. And with the third one coming out really soon, I am actually really looking forward to being able to put this in, play it, beat it, be prepared for the third part for whenever it releases next year. So that's actually another Nintendo News of the Week in the books. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy this video, enjoy all the work and everything that goes into this throughout the week to be able to come up with all these news articles and everything. And just, I greatly appreciate all that you do for me, the likes, the comments, everything. Have a great day, a great night. God bless you all. I'll see you all next time.